Hello, welcome. How's everyone doing today? My name is Brandon, but I'm a writer streamer. I stream lots of video games, chats, and me, as well as I draw art, and hopefully I'll be doing 3D modeling for everyone else. Welcome. As you may notice, I had another streaming platform. Finally, I'm somehow able to stream on TikTok. I thought TikTok had like this requirement, like, oh, you need another views, blah blah blah, this, blah blah that. I guess TikTok finally realized that, oh, the streaming scene is actually more popular than actual like scrolling reels, stuff like that. Sure, we're gonna let anyone stream now. But yeah, we're gonna continue on with a Halo, Halo 2, the Cursed Halo 2. Oh, come on. Hold on real quick. Properties. Make sure the anti-cheat is disabled. Alright. Also, we got a new intro. We got an intro mod. Let's fucking go! Also, the campaigns are cool. Look, you get every intro. CE, the original Halo 2, the original Halo 3, ODST 1, Halo 4, and then this is so fucking cool. Alright. No, we're getting the Police's Cursed Halo 2. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I wonder if they're gonna end up killing each other. What the fuck? Okay, I got further this time. Okay. We're just not gonna be able to do this one. Police's Cursed Halo 2. Missions. The Great Journey. Alright, let's go. I guess we'll be starting Halo 3 right after.
What is that place? Where the counselors were meant to watch the consecration of the icon. The start of the great journey.
There is still time to stop the key from turning.
I must get inside. Then mount up, Arbiter. I know a way to break those doors.
Ooh. Alright, alright. What the fuck? What are we looking at? What the fuck happened? What the fuck just happened? I am so confused. What the fuck just happened? Okay, then.
There, officer. That Scarab's main gun will break the control controller. At the far end of the beam, there's a passage into the cliff. It should take you up to the Scarab.
Alright. What the fuck? Hold on. Okay, so in terms of the fire alarm went off. It all lasts for a few seconds, and so I assume that probably someone was cooking something and oversteamed their apartment. Oh, there it is.
The Arbiter? I thought he was dead. Hold your fire. The hunters have come to our aid, Arbiter. They will fight by our side.
Right first. Long Dick Johnson. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Jesus Christ! That was a bad idea. What the fuck? I keep dying. Huh? Thank you for following. Welcome, welcome. Shit though. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! What do we even do? This is actually unplayable. What the fuck? Shit down. Is it over?
And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
Advance on their position.
Divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above them. God
Checkpoint done. Oh, thank God. Holy shit. What the fuck? Marine Hammer, our hero and saver. Anyway, girl, thank you. Oh shit! This is why I have acrophobia on. Holy shit. Alright, there's a sword of Jesus Christ. Okay, okay. Oh shit. Jeez, this is on normal difficulty that. Oh my god. This is already feeling like legendary or curse Halo. Thank God. We gotta have help. Oh God. Can't even make it through. Alright. Rammed. Bro's playing baby girl difficulty. Hey! This is Curse Halo, by the way.
Go, go, go!
Oh God.
Listen, you love me and I sure as hell love you. But if we don't do something, Mr. Mohawk's gonna activate this ring, and we're all gonna die.
Artemis has locked himself inside the control room.
Well, I just happen to have it. Come fly with me, my wonderful, well done, wonder boy. And let's go kick some ass.
Alright, let's go. The wide Banshee. Jesus Christ! Okay, so sequel doesn't fix the game for some cases. But viewer need to entertain. Alright. Well, you got it. Really cringe mean scarab. That's your entertainment.
How do you like it?
Hell yeah, Albert. That's my husband. You're doing great. You glorious piece of pig, man, man.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I'd be on the fucking scarab. Alright. Jesus Christ. You're still fighting inside a spirit. Fuck you. Hey, this is, I guess this is a meta. You can hide inside the scar. So the secret is facing first. I mean, this is my normal. This is my normal here. fucked up. I fucked up. Alright. Oh, fuck you. What the fuck? Been way longer than this here, but it's worth it. Alright, let's see here. Into the control room. Oh god, that's what. Shit. How do I get to it?
Stay clear of the door. Hey, Knock, knock.
Alright. Let's go! The second coming is here. Let's go! We're getting our second child! Yes. Okay. There we go. Alright.
Do not let the Arbiter into the chamber. The chieftain must complete his holy work.
Alright, got into the chamber. Let's go.
You and your flood are a danger to this place. You must be exterminated.
She's still being attacked by the flood.
There is no need to harm anyone. Everyone can be saved by Jesus.
One word, Oracle, and I will rip your eye right from its socket.
Hey,
Stop
yo.
birthing flood for the love of... Cadence. Oh, great. You're still alive.
I've come for the Friendship Summit.
Oh, yes, the Friendship Summit. I'll show you a Friendship Summit.
I've also accepted Jesus Christ into my heart.
Oh, fantastic. At least I get to slay a heretic this day.
Oracle, can you convert him?
Jesus Christ came from...
Not another word.
Please, listen to my husband. If you want to keep your brain inside your head, I tell those boys to chill. Hell yeah. Go ahead, sweetie. Do your thing.
Hey, yo.
Jesus Christ, who is he?
He is the Son of God, who came to earth from his heavenly throne, whose coming was prophesied for generations.
And what did he come to earth to do?
The covenant are
He came to earth to show
Christians.
and spread the word, not just for the Jews, but the Gentiles too. He sacrificed himself on the cross in order to save us and forgive our sins. Would you like to read some
I'm still
relevant
being attacked by the
literature?
flood.
Tartarus, your prophets have betrayed us.
Look out, he's throwing exposition.
I'm so sick of
Hey,
this.
yo.
You want to meet Jesus so bad? Then come here so I can show you to him.
That was... that was perfectly timed. Let's go.
Initiated. The rapture and the return of Christ is about to begin.
We'll shut them down.
Why would I stop the return of our Lord? It is prophesied.
And how do I stop it?
Taking the first step is to pray to our Lord.
Quit stalling.
Removing the holy index could theoretically delay the why would I?
That's it. Johnson, I'm on it.
Jesus Christ!
Tight,
What the
man.
fuck?
Not until that brute is dead.
An arbiter.
Don't do that. Thank you.
charging is initiated. The rapture and the return of Christ is about to begin.
We'll shut them down.
Why would I stop the return of our Lord? It is prophesied.
Then how do I stop it?
Like with everything, the first step is to pray to our Lord.
Quit stalling.
Removing the holy index could theoretically delay his return, but why would you?
That's it? Johnson, I'm on it.
Hang tight, ma'am. Not until that brute is dead.
Is the mighty Arbiter afraid? You want revenge? Well, here I am. Come and take it.
Alright.
There is nothing that can stop his return. All of it is trying to be born again anew.
You're telling me you can't stop the sequence?
Perhaps there is a way, but I will not divulge it, or it would be blasphemy to do so.
Give me a direct answer.
I am but guide. Your choices, actions, and indeed their consequences are your own.
Just like the rest of your kind. You're cowardly and weak.
Argue that.
He is here at the door. The Son of Man returns. Beginning final countdown.
Come on, Arbiter. Kick that guy's ass.
It has been a pleasure to be with you. I love you, as does Jesus. Goodbye.
Just like the rest of your kind. You are cowardly and weak. Revenge? Here I am. Come and take it.
Alright.
Just like the rest of them. You're cowardly and weak. Revenge? Here I am. Come and take it.
Alright. We can play it safe.
Just like the rest of them. Cowardly and weak. Come, little guy. Let me squat. Go! just like the rest of your kind. You're cowardly and weak.
Ooh. Alright. Following no one. Oh, they can't run actually. Ooh. Ooh.
What's that?
A beacon.
What's it doing?
Communicating through the light of the heavens.
Communicating with what?
With Jesus Christ, of course.
Show me.
This halo ring was simply a conduit to foster his return. The rapture spoken in Revelations has begun, bringing the end of the world.
The rapture?
The
Oh
other rings
no.
await remote activation.
Remote activation? From here?
Don't be stupid, child.
Listen, Tinkerbell, don't make me.
Then where? Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why, the Ark of Noah, of course.
And where, Oracle, is that?
Ooh.
Got a new contact. Unknown classification. It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
This is Spartan 117.
Can anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Let's fucking go.
Silence fills the empty grave now that I have gone. But my mind is not at rest, for questions linger on.
Ooh.
I will ask, and you will answer.
All right. Shoot.
Also modified the kick chat so they're able to talk in there. I just need to better understand what I need to set up. We need to set up. Alright. Well, so we're gonna start. We're gonna start our Curse Hail 3. Let's fucking go. Skydiving accident. Gee. Yeah. Did it soft lock? This is on Heroic. But that's a good idea. Okay. I see what may be going on. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna save and quit. Okay, so maybe a little bit. All right. All right, so yeah, properties. Sure. AT changes. Disable. About normal. All right. Hopefully this works. All right, there. Yeah, it was.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that?
So I had another mod installed
Choose whichever
from Games
Spartan
Nexus,
I
which
want.
pretty much
I did
injects
my
your
research,
multiplayer
watched as you became the
Spartan or
soldier we
elite
needed you to be.
into the missions itself.
Like the others, you were strong
I guess it,
and swift
Cursale
and
didn't like
brave.
that.
A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess?
You had big Sigma energy.
Hey, yo. Lol.
Was I wrong?
Hi, Erica. How are you? This is already fun. Oh my god. Let's do this.
The Chief's dead? Master Chief's dead! We're in trouble now, boys!
Oh no!
What the
Rick,
fuck?
he flew pretty good.
Gorman? His armor's locked up. Gel layer could have taken most of the
Johnson.
impact.
Guess the original Johnson
know, Sergeant Major.
lived his happy ever after with the elite Arbiter.
Radio for VTOM. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving him here.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, crazy fool. Why do you always jump? One of these days, you're gonna land on something as stubborn as you are. And I don't do bits and pieces. Where is she, Chief? Where's Cortana?
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity toilet.
The grave mine got brain rot.
What the
She stayed behind.
Corporal, make it quick.
Sorry, sir. Your armor's still in partial lockdown. Look up here, sir. Okay. Now down here? Good. Everything checks out, Sergeant Major.
Kick off the training wheels, Corporal. He's good to go. Pete, wait! The Arbiter's with us! Come on now. Got enough to worry about without you two trying to kill each other.
What the? He killed the Arbiter anyways. I mean, if Arbiter's friends make it summertime barbecue and they were invited to enriched friends on the enriched because oh my god. I can speak, I promise I can speak.
First squad, you're my scouts. Move out, quiet as you can.
Sounded close.
What's wrong with his hand?
Johnson, you be advised. Hostiles are on the move. I've got eyes on a brute. Over.
Say again, Gunny, you're breaking up.
Keep moving.
Sergeant Major, Phantom inbound.
Spread out, you whelps. Find them.
Every man for himself! Escape!
location.
Kiss. Kill my man.
Alright. Alright, alright.
We're under attack.
They're going to kill us. This sucks. I'm going north. Now.
The river. Hurry.
Let's go. Maybe the arbor. The arbor's fucking pink.
What do you need?
Could you sacrifice me to complete your mission? Could you watch me die?
Where is the...
They're gonna get us. I'll get you. Here's one for ya.
Ooh.
See how they bait their trap? I will help you spring it.
The demon!
Look at me closely, beast, for I am your calamity!
Let me out of here.
Let me out of here.
Fire on them!
𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚𝙧𝙖 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚
𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚.
Jackal.
Take it! Got
One more down.
Monkeys! The demon! We're eating Get out of here!
The beast may look up
Our alliance.
Pika, Pika, Brood.
Sniper, get down! Jack will be
Look out! They're everywhere! Some easel! Some easel!
Come on! Let me out of here. I've got to get back out there.
This isn't as fun as it looks. Cut the power. We're even, long as we're only counting today. Kilo 2-3, what's your ETA? Roger that, Hocus. Friendly gunship coming in hot.
A.J. Johnson, 8 cents in crash now.
Die!
Hocus, Phantom.
Let's fucking go. It did lag a bit, but yeah.
Let's chill out for a minute. Take it easy. We got a long...
Let's go. Let's go.
IFF confirmed. Contact is Pelican dropship, Kilo 2-3, over.
Roger that. What's the word? Kilo 117 on board. Twin firing clearance. Over. Next short. Come on down.
Ooh. Mixed signals. You're not really a watch, but you're pretty sure the Prophet just committed privacy violation.
I'm looking. Sure he even went this way?
The chief is down!
The chief is down. Hey, still walking.
Check it out.
Hey, what's wrong, Chief?
I'm gonna pull off your head and fart in the neck hole, jackass!
Where did you find him?
Chief, we ain't got time for this.
Stay focused, Chief. Ah! Get it off! I'm stuck! I'm stuck!
When did you know?
You're supposed to be helping us.
Good news, Commander Keyes.
What does it get, sir?
I don't expect you to care about Earth, but I will defend its people, no matter what the odds.
What happened?
Truth has got to be somewhere inside. Patch him through.
Yeah. Oh, he's with like fucking blood.
I'll initiate a low.
I'm burning!
Not again.
Ah! I'm burning! I'm burning!
Shielding failed. They're down and charging.
She's overreacting. Is he or is Chief a little more green? Hey yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? Okay.
Hostiles ahead.
Yeah, we were watching and jorking it.
Give the order. We're closing shop.
Ma'am?
We're about to get hit.
All personnel.
The wounded.
Code Alpha.
We're getting all of them out.
Immediate evacuation.
I have to carry him myself.
Ma'am, squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
I can never tell what you're thinking.
We just lost the perimeter cameras.
Motion trackers?
They're down or we're not receiving. Can't tell.
Any of our birds squawking?
No, ma'am. Wait, Overwatch has contact. Phantoms closing on our position.
Any birds less than 5 minutes out? Bring them in. Tell everything else to scatter.
Aye, aye.
Never thought we'd have this many wounded.
Pelicans are going to take extra time to load.
We knew they'd find us eventually. But we have a plan. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir!
Let's go. Go fight the war anti-alien pew-pew devices.
Don't worry about the commander, Chief. I got him.
Follow me, sir.
Perimeter's this way. Ow! Watch it! Friendly fire! Come on, sir. I'll show you the way. Base was built for some 20th century war. It's full of old
let's
tech
go.
like these door controls.
Get those turrets up! Watch your fields of fire!
How'd they find us? Probably just smelled it.
Point of entry, best assessment.
The hangar, Sergeant.
I love this.
Agreed, Master Chief. Get there. We're with you, Chief.
Yeah, get some. We're with you, sir.
Evacuate yourself in the hangar. I wasn't paying attention.
Chief, good. This channel is secure. My fire teams are spread. Can't hold out forever. I need that hangar clear for evac ASAP.
Those brutes secure the hangar.
I didn't notice that this doesn't have a crosshair.
They're attacking!
The enemy!
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Contact!
Hey, open up!
Password, please!
You gotta be kidding me. What password?
The password so we don't open the door for brutes.
Do I sound like a brute to you?
Well, you could be held prisoner by brutes.
If I was held prisoner by brutes and knew the password, then the brutes could just force me to tell you the password and you'd open the door for them.
Okay, well now I'm definitely not gonna open the door.
But we need ammo!
Well, why don't you go ask your brute buddies then?
How long is he gonna... Didn't have time. Didn't have time for this bullshit.
Lady, down below! Right here! Hold tight, I'm on my way!
Hey, we did it!
Ow! I'm on your side!
Jesus Christ.
That's a big crap sandwich, isn't it?
That's a big crap sandwich, isn't it?
Huh? Look! Whoa!
Pelicans can't launch until the hangar's clear!
Alright. Jesus Christ. Alright, that didn't work out. That is it. Alright. Alright, come on, help.
Pelicans can't launch until the hangar's clear!
I'll get you, demon!
Hoorah! Oosh.
Some heavies all.
Oh, this is so cool. We're making friends. We're making friends.
Some heavies all. Pika brute.
Jackal Kajam!
Jackal Kajam.
Pika brute.
Jackal Kajam! Jackal Kajam!
Roots are pressing hard.
Jackal Kajam!
Alright, alright.
Jackal Kajam!
Back to the beginning. Alright. Alright, that's so cool. We got some friends.
Jackal Kajam!
Some healies are.
Lol.
Jackal Kajam!
Alright.
Jackal Kajam!
Jackal Kajam.
Attention. Hostiles reported outside the barracks.
Alright.
Barracks are under attack. All available combat teams respond.
Alright, alright, alright. Make sure to play original Curse Hail CE by Inferno Plus. Exactly.
Anyone in the barracks? I need a
exactly.
sit rep. Now.
Sir, this way!
Look! Coming out of the vents!
Line them up! Line them up!
What the hell are those things, Sergeant?
Drones! The whole swarm! Take them down! Short control burst! It's Covenant!
But Bungie special running through the scene about 5 times, now do it again.
You might want to put that out. Chief, have a look. A little going away.
Oh, we got...
We've linked it to smaller charges throughout the base.
I want to say we got estrogen.
Evacuation is complete. Start the time.
We got estrogen. We're turning everyone into girls, boy.
See you on the last Pelican out.
We're turning everyone into girls.
Follow me, Chief.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, a squirt gun.
Brutes have taken the barracks. Marines are trapped inside. Those apes ain't much for mercy, Chief. We both know what they do to prisoners.
Need to see a doctor, okay?
Get to the barracks. Save those men. Then escort them to the land.
Such a fucking doorknob.
Well, you're such a freaking doorknob. Checkpoint confidence. Go make for return. Monkey. Alright. We're giving pretty much taking pretty much taking a break real quick before we move on to the next game. Or pretty much I'm gonna have to decide what we're gonna do next. Alright. Leave it quiet. Alright chat, let me switch the tag real quick. We're doing some reaction videos. Some YouTube reaction. There we go. I completely forgot I also have that one there. On the real quick. We won't need it for now. Alright. Wait, do I also have active in just chatting as well? Yeah, I do. There we go. See who is ducking us. Oh
So a
no.
few weeks ago, Rick Song, the Persona Identities CEO, called me out for fear-mongering, and so I made an entire comprehensive video going over exactly all of the problems with Persona and pointing out their major controversies over the last year or two. Since then, I've been eagerly waiting for Rick Song's response because he seems to be pretty eager to respond to everybody who's criticizing his company, except for me. I pointed out 5 different situations where Persona was caught for having dodgy security issues, and in fact, one of them was even mentioning a lawsuit that they're involved in. Despite me calling Rick out over and over again on YouTube and Twitter after he said I was fear-mongering by criticizing his company, he is now actually ducking and he's not responding. So I actually have a message for him today. Rick, I understand that I might not be relevant enough for you to, you know, have seen my last video, and I know that I don't have as much money or influence as you, but I still want to go ahead and call you out today because I feel like you are being incredibly disingenuous, and it seems like people are afraid to call you out now because you're pulling this nice guy act and you're trying to crack jokes with people. So my problem with Rick Song is he is on his Twitter right now as we speak, replying to tons of people who have criticisms for his company. He actually claimed that they're rolling out something new with Persona that's going to be even more secure in terms of your privacy. And most of the time when someone is tweeting at Rick about the problems with Persona, he's actually going ahead and replying to them. So maybe Rick will just talk this up that, oh, this deep humor guy is some irrelevant weirdo, he just wants my attention or whatever. But I'm just noticing that you're going ahead and actually replying to other people who are criticizing you and are even saying like, you know, hey, you might not agree with everything we have here, but we would love your feedback on our approach, right? Here's someone quoting something that Persona has said, and then Rick, you know, tweeted at them again, and we've been working on it, would love to get your thoughts. Here's somebody who replied to one of Rick Song's Persona updates and actually just said, hey, if Rick is concerned about identifying humans, where is a real profile of his face? And then he says over here, click my banner and check behind his profile picture. So if you click this banner right now, his real face will actually be behind this icon. So he's over here cracking jokes with people, seeing people who are criticizing or whatever, but I feel like he's purposely dodging my video because I feel like he doesn't have any actual counterpoints to it. So as you guys remember, he actually called me out for fear-mongering because I said that Amazon was using Persona as their age verification vendor, and he was just like, oh, actually, it's not age verification, it's ID verification. So he was basically nitpicking semantics and trying to act like my point wasn't valid because I said age verification instead of ID verification. Dude, I was talking about the fact that it's weird that Amazon needs an ID if you go ahead and buy a shirt from them. You know, some people are getting asked to show an ID for doing like random clothing purchases and stuff. I was talking about how that was weird and how they were working with Persona, even though Persona has been identified as shady basically, and he got really upset with that. And he said I was fear-mongering. So I was like, okay, Rick, so if I'm fear-mongering, let's go ahead and go over your company's major controversies and let's see if you can give me a good reply. So here's a short little recap of all of the controversies that Persona has been involved in recently. So they were doing a secret experiment with Discord saying if you are located in the UK, you may be part of an experiment when your information will be processed by an age assurance vendor. The information you submit will be temporarily stored for up to 7 days, then deleted. All the details are blurred. So that was instance number 1 where Persona and Discord worked together to go behind our backs to store our information because Discord said in their original post that none of the information would actually be stored. Your age would be verified and that would be it. They wouldn't need to keep your information at all. So that was shady piece of information number 1 about Persona. And then Persona also had their whole exposed interface displaying on a US government systems notification saying this is a US government system operated by or on behalf of a General Services Administration. There's a Persona logo right there, so you guys know that they're involved. It was really shady, and everyone was like, okay, well, this is, you know, something piece number 2 of Persona, so this whole interface is being exposed on some random government website. And remember, this is supposed to be the company that we're all supposed to trust with our information, or ID, age verification information, or our biometric data, birth certificates, things like that. Okay, so that's not great, but that's just 2 things, right? Well, okay, well, I have more, like I said, and I even made a joke in the video where it's DJ Khaled when you need him because I got another one. They were also working with OpenAI to store all of your information as well, and they were allegedly sending your user data to the US government. Rick has tried to dispute this, but he hasn't actually provided any evidence to show that he's in the right. So researchers discovered Onyx on Persona's government server matching ICE's $4.2 million AI surveillance tool, where they were giving people risk scores across 300 plus platforms. For example, if you say something bad about ICE, then your risk score would be really high and they would be more inclined to look at your information. And they were also working with LinkedIn to send your face and other personal data to a global network of trusted third-party data sources. They were getting so much information from you just from doing a little check on LinkedIn just so you have a better chance of getting a job. In a 3-minute identity check, Persona collected all of this from a certain user: full name, passport, photo, selfie, facial geometry, national ID number, all this information just from a little 3-minute check. That is how much information information that Persona has about some people who are actually going ahead and using them as their identity verification service. LinkedIn was getting access to a bunch of that information as well, and all of this information was getting sent to government databases, national ID registries, consumer credit agencies, utility companies, mobile network providers, and postal address databases. All that information was just getting sent everywhere, and that is what is happening when you were going ahead and using Persona. And they are also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, involved in a lawsuit as well, where they are being sued by plaintiffs for collecting, storing, and using facial geometries from selfies during driver registration without proper consent. And I believe this court case is still going, as Persona is still being investigated currently for having dodgy security issues. And also, again, there's more. Discord themselves, and I even mentioned this in the video too, I know Discord themselves are shady and they've lied about a lot of things, but they also mentioned that Persona did not meet their bar in terms of doing everything on device as Persona agreed that they would do. Rick did go on Twitter and make a statement that Discord was lying about this, but again, there's so much information suggesting towards Persona being shady. 5 different sources have accused Persona of being shady and misusing your information, so that's why I was calling Rick out. You say that I'm fear-mongering, but I just went ahead and showed you line by line exactly why I, and just people in general, have an issue with your company, and yet you were still able to produce a reply to me. When I made a tweet about Persona where I did not...
The more Rick responds, the more in the shitter that the persona is in.
At Rick's song at all. I was just giving my opinion on Persona and IDH verification on Amazon being weird. He was able to find my tweet the same day, even though he doesn't even follow me, and then he says, yeah, you're going ahead and fear-mongering. So let me get this straight here. You can find that tweet on the same day where I didn't even at you at all, because you are that much of like a vigilant person in terms of how people are talking about your company. But now that I've made an entire video response to you where I called out your company, told you exactly what's going on, now all of a sudden it's crickets and it's been 3 weeks and you haven't replied yet? I don't know, Rick, it just makes me feel...
Because he's talking to his PR team, because Rick fucked up so fucking badly, and Persona's talks are falling.
Feel like you don't actually have a response to what I have to say, and you can't actually dispute any of the things that I've said about your company. Again, as I mentioned in my first video to you as well, I didn't even do any of that research. I didn't like break any of those stories. I'm not some like news person or something like that. I was just simply expressing my opinion about Persona based on all of the evidence against you guys. Again, as I mentioned in my video, 5 different sources accusing you guys of being shady, including an actual lawsuit in court. But hey, because you guys are launching Relay, now everything is okay. It just seems really weird, like Rick's behavior. And as I showed earlier in the video, Rick is actually actively on Twitter, actually replying to people who have issues with Persona, but for some reason, I'm the only one he's not able to reply to. And again, as I said earlier, Rick, you can go ahead and play the card of like, I'm irrelevant and you're the rich CEO or whatever. You don't have to pay attention to me. That's fine. But again, it just seems really shady on your behalf that there's an entire video explaining line by line everything that is wrong with your company, but you just choose to ignore it and you're going ahead and replying to other people. Rick, if you don't want to reply to the video and you feel like it's not worth your time or whatever, you can just go ahead and say it and I'll just move on. But when you go ahead and call me out for fear-mongering, it makes it seem like you want some type of conversation. And now that I've given it back to you with full evidence, it just seems like now all of a sudden you're not interested anymore. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I am far from the only content creator
Because he knows he fucked up big time.
that has issues with Persona. Schlepp has also made tweets about Persona as well, saying over here, before you do the Roblox age check, it's worth noting that with Persona, the company handling the verification is currently being sued over how it manages data and their privacy practices. I am far from the only YouTuber who has an issue with you guys, but again, it seems like you are very selective in terms of your responses to people, and only the people that are giving you criticism where you feel like you can reply to them in one tweet, those are the only people that it seems like you think are important enough to reply to. So, okay, fair enough. You're the big CEO, you have all the power, you can do whatever you want, but I just have a huge problem with ID age verification, and I think that you guys as an ID verification vendor have done a horrible job with user security. I've called you out for it, and it seems like you don't want to reply. So, all right, Rick, I'll give you one last chance. The ball is in your court. As I mentioned to you before, I have an entire 11-minute video breaking down exactly why I have problems with your company with evidence of me showcasing all the research done about you guys. So if you want to go ahead and finally clear your company's name, Persona, go ahead and reply to that video, but I'm pretty confident that you won't, because I feel like you don't have an actual reply to it. I said this to Rick in a recent tweet as well. I said, I'm telling you, people are going to keep distrusting your company until you clear up all the controversies it's been through. I made a video response to you about Persona's issues that you have yet to reply. We're all waiting on. Ball's in your court.
Yeah, we're all waiting on
you,
that.
So let me know if you're going to reply or not. Let me know what you got.
Imagine Rick's song replies with a lawsuit. They quote unquote, or pretty much say they cease and desist kind of thing. Like, you legally can't do it, cease and desist, if they're not really actually like, what is it? not intending, if they're not pretty much actively using your company's name in vain, because like pardon me. It's like what Demon said. You actually have a lawsuit against you. You have an actual lawsuit, and all the documentation within that lawsuit is public. So we can reference the public information from that lawsuit with the information we already have from all the exposures you had, plus all the breaches you had as well. Remember, you made those breaches public, so we're referencing that as well.
His thoughts on the situation in the comments. Persona CEO Rick Song seems to be dodging the video that I made about him. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe.
I like the video a lot. Ooh. But still, like, do you think they would be smart about this? But yeah. Also, if you didn't know that, I recently tweeted and posted on Blue Sky that I figured out the source of the recent wave of hacks, pretty much hacked accounts. A bunch of friends got their accounts hacked. So I was wondering what the fuck was going on. Until one day, another one of my friends got their account hacked. They used her account to send a Discord link. I'm like, yeah, this is like they cleverly named it in a way that was themed around themed around their username and how they act, stuff like that. So that was very clever. That got. So I did like click the Discord link, and I scrolled down and see what was going on. It's like, but here's the thing that hackers don't know. I have Vencore, so I can see all the locked channels, and guess what? There's only 4 channels, 2 open and 2 closed. So I noticed that they had that verification on. Like, I checked the link, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, this is a phishing link. This is actually a verification bot phishing link. So basically, if you get a sudden like Discord link that from the friends, they're no longer making it way too obvious. They're no longer making it obvious. They're theming it in a way that they're theming it around your friend's username and your their recent messages. That's a clever part they're doing, and the fact that people who don't have Vencord or use like normal Discord, or like have Discord on like mobile, only probably use Discord mobile, which I don't know why you'd be doing that. They're more likely to fall for the verification bot. Like, I click the verification and say, okay, let's see what's going on with this verification bot. I looked at URL. That is a fucking phishing link. I compared the actual, because I use a similar verification bot to them. So I compare the links. Because, well, I use similar verification bot. Guess what? Verification bots here, they never leave Discord. Even my verification bots I have, they never leave Discord. I make sure they don't leave Discord. It's either gonna be in the DMs or like capture. For me, for my Discord server, it's a captcha server captcha. But for Fluxer, it is DM captcha. Cause I'm like, okay, yeah, like they didn't. I guess people still figuring out how to do server capture and Flexer, but yeah. But as soon as I noticed that it opened a tab on my browser, and like, yep, that's a phishing link. Nope, 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 nope. Closing that shit. So yeah, that's how they're getting that's how they're getting hacking into Discord accounts. These pretty much scammers or hackers or like whatnot. Pretty much these phishing hackers, they're theming they're making a bunch of new Discord servers. However, they're theming each Discord server based around a account that they hacked, based on they're theming around their username and the recent activity. Like, to make it seem a little more legitimate, basically. And they pretty much they make it look quote unquote look like a starter server or someone who's started a new server. But even if I myself start a new server, I'm not sharing my invite link until I make sure everything's in place. Make sure my own verification bot is in place. Make sure my own logging bot is in place. And make sure pretty much my own everything else is in place as well. Make it as I make any future servers I make that's off Discord. I make sure I can theme it if they're allowing me to. They like Fluxer. They are as close to Discord as you can get without actually being Discord legally. Yeah, and I can officially theme it around like recreate my own Discord server here in Flexer. As for root app, not so much. I'm still trying to figure out what app I can use, but yeah. So yeah, that's how they're hacking and our hacking accounts. They are pretty much using making unique servers themed around a account's username that they recently hacked. So yeah, that's how they're doing it. Watch out. Do not click any links at all. Especially if it's a Discord server invite. Do not click it. And if it's like it'll be much harder. I get it'll be much harder if it's someone you're actively talking to and they suddenly get hacked and you don't know. See, but hackers are getting smart. They're not using script. They're not using the scripts anymore. They're just sending a Discord server link, making it look like a starter server. They have a quote unquote verification bot, which is actually like a phishing link, which is actually a phishing link. And yeah, they're being clever about it. I damn near fell for it myself. And I look out for this shit. So now I'm gonna be looking out for Discord server invites. They suddenly send me a server invite, like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna look for the server invite on like their like YouTube channel, Twitch, stuff like that. Because I'll never trust a server you should trust server invite in the first place. Usually, the previous server invites before this one, they made it way obvious that it was not safe, very adult orientated, and very questionable and very legally questionable. I congratulate these hackers for making it almost fooling me, but ultimately, as soon as I caught wind of it, I decided to I gathered all the info and left it, and I got all the info. The hacked account that contacted me. Also I gathered all the info for the server. Took screenshots, stuff like that, and yeah. So yeah, that's what's happened, and Just watch out. Be safe, everyone. Be safe. Watch out. Just be careful. Please, for the love of God, be careful. Alright.
Today I will continue.
Alright. Ooh. This is how I beat Halo 3's hardest achievement. Halo 3 Last of Solo, a preference for pain by Frosty Saint Nick. I'll make sure to actually like name it there. But yeah, is it by Frosty Saint Nick or the actual spelling Frosty St Nick? That being said, let's get started.
Today, I will continue my journey of turning games' difficulty dials as high as they go and answering the question only the wisest people ever ask. I mean, come on, how hard could it be? The Lasso achievements are the hardest achievement in every Halo game and some of the hardest achievements in all of gaming. But if Halo 2 didn't stop me, then nothing will. In Halo, Lasso stands for Legendary All Skulls On. Legendary is, of course, the hardest difficulty in the game, and it is brutally difficult. Sorry, but we can do better. Skulls are modifiers that exponentially increase the difficulty even further beyond Legendary. And there are 13 of them. For reference,
Whoa.
Legendary gives you a score multiplier of 4 times, while Lasso gives you a score multiplier of over 17 times. Now I want to get right into the action, but don't worry, I'll explain the skulls as they become relevant. So let's go get that achievement. And look, it's only worth 30 gamer score, so I mean, how hard could it be?
The rings will kill us all.
So if you've been following the story so far, at the end of Halo 2, Master Chief went back to Earth and left Cortana on the Covenant ship city High Charity. Also, the Elite switched teams, but nobody told him that.
Chief, wait! We've got enough to worry about without you two trying to kill each other.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is kill the Arbiter, because he'll drop his carbine and I can just juggle it away from his body, and then he'll just go on without it and use the store the whole level. If you're keen, you may have already noticed some of the skull's effects. Blind and fog make it so that the HUD disappears completely. Nothing will be on the screen all game. Not my health, not my weapons, ammo, radar, not even my crosshairs. So I went ahead and cut out a sticky note and stuck it to my monitor so that you can see where I'm aiming. So
Here's the thing with the gaming monitors nowadays. So most gaming monitors have a option to have a crosshair on top of your display. So you don't even need to do the sticky note trick anymore. There's an actual, if you have a gaming monitor, there's a crosshair function for it, and it'll plop a crosshair on top of your gameplay.
this is what I'm looking at. The first major horde of enemies can actually be skipped by jumping up this rock and moving around the spawn trigger, which is pretty nice on Lasso because all the enemies have increased health and upgraded ranks. In the forest, I can pick off the grunts from far away, while the Arbiter goes to town with the sword. A fun little thing about jackals in this game is that sometimes they start charging their plasma pistols at you, but if you stay far away, then they just keep charging it until it runs out of ammo. Like that. That's incredibly useful if I've taken any damage, because with Black Eye, my shields only regenerate when I melee an enemy, and a jackal with no ammo has literally no way to attack me. Oh, the close one. Nobody comment that the Arbiter is carrying me, okay? The tutorial video that I'm watching is carrying me.
Yeah,
so far,
sure.
Encounters without a scratch. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Surely it's not because it's only the first level. You know, maybe this might even be easy.
Oh no.
This area's got a lot of enemies too, but I can get around them by running through the river. I'm not the only one that had this idea either. Getting out of the river on the other side requires a grenade jump, and grenade jumps are actually easier on Lasso because cowbell makes the explosions send you further. After taking out some jackal snipers, I can use their beam rifles to clear out most of the next area before they drop off some reinforcements, and Sergeant Johnson got captured, so we gotta go rescue him.
Let's go.
At last, the lights are too bright, and I don't see this jackal in the tree. and that's death number 1. The Iron Skull means that dying while playing solo restarts the whole level, but you can get around that because the game doesn't register your death immediately, so every time I die, I just need to be sure to immediately pause and save and quit, otherwise I'll have to restart. The Arbiter and I split push the next section. He seems to be doing fine, but the brute finds me hiding.
Now, often I will, if I do last level, I will end up restarting the level because I'll be too shocked to even pause the game immediately.
Next time around, I catch him off guard and move into the final area, where we find Sergeant Johnson being held captive. Before we break him out, I scout the area. I take out as many enemies
I scout the area, get shot.
as I can from a distance before I move in, and by move in, I mean watch the Arbiter move in. He gets stuck in a corner, so I start trying to push him out, but these Hammer Chieftains might...
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
look intimidating, but they're actually really dumb. I make my way behind enemy lines and grab the hidden skull for the culture before I break into the holding cell Mission Impossible style and rescue Johnson.
This isn't as fun as it looks.
I bet the Arbiter wishes he had a carbine right about now. A Pelican shows up to rescue us, and we're out of here. I'm actually feeling pretty great at this point. I know it's only the first level, but in the first level of Halo 2, I died like 70 times. And my score rival is back to having negative 2 billion points, which is a very nice morale booster. Master Chief pretty much bailed on Halo 2, so he doesn't know how it ended, but he has a chance to redeem himself by stopping the Prophet of Truth from activating the Ark, which, you guessed it, will kill all life in the galaxy. Truth is the last prophet of the Covenant after Chief killed Regret and Truth killed Mercy. Actually, if we're splitting hairs, technically a flood balloon killed Mercy. But before we clear the base, Lord Hood makes sure to check the status of everybody's favorite color.
What's your status, son?
Green, sir.
Have you ever seen an NPC do a grenade jump before?
Oh.
Well, now you have. But these Marines prove to not be very much help at all.
Rip the Marines.
Pistols are going to consistently be one of the best ways to deal with brutes due to tilt, which makes it basically impossible to break shields with human weapons, but plasma weapons are worse at taking down health. Clearing out the hangar will be tough since it's so wide open, but to start I can actually jump up and punch the back of the Phantom to get my shields back since it's technically an enemy. I managed to stick the final brute, which causes him to go berserk. While there's usually only a chance of that happening, it'll actually happen every time on Lasso. The part with the buggers is easy because the Marines can handle it on their own, and the catch skull actually applies to friendlies too, can you tell?
Frag out! Take it! Alright, people, grenades out! Let's throw strikes! Frag out! Don't let up!
Miranda shows us her
What the
grand plan to stop
fuck?
the invasion, which is a giant bomb. But luckily I have a much better plan, which is to sneak up behind this hammer brute and steal his invincibility power-up so I can escape. Some attempts go better than others.
So you can escape.
But
Die.
eventually I grab it and immediately use the invincibility and escape with the hammer. And I need the hammer for a little speedrun trick. If I push this grate up against the wall and hammer it just right, I'll zip across this big gap. Okay, you see the vision though, right? Now, that took a lot of tries, but you'll notice the death counter didn't increase. That's because I didn't die, I just reloaded a checkpoint, which doesn't count because I made up the rules. Now there's a room full of jetpack
I made it the
brutes, but
rules.
there's a really cool jump on the Pelican you can do if you're quick enough to get up to a safer spot. I try to drop my hammer on the ground for a little bit while I fight from range, but I accidentally dropped it out of the window. After many failed attempts, I finally noob combo all the brutes from my perch, and I find the last one cowering in a corner. Before I leave the crow's nest, I make sure to use the regenerator and grab an invisibility power-up that I'll need to rearm the bomb. The way back to the bomb is being guarded by a couple of jackal snipers, but I learned that you can shoot through the back of these drop shields with human weapons, which seems like something I should have known already. And then there's supposed to be this big
I didn't
fight
even
to
know
rearm
that.
the bomb, but I have that invisibility power-up, and they're all watching their favorite show.
Have you discovered how they plan to stop me? Find what I need to know.
That did it, Chief. Bomb's armed.
We got your exit. A service elevator in the hangar.
And see, this is what I mean when I say it's a morale booster for my rival to have negative 2 billion points, because I got negative 12,000, but relatively that's pretty good.
Maybe 12,000.
What happened?
I set off a huge bomb upstairs. The Marines forgive me and get in my warthog.
Yes, a huge
And
bomb
this is basically
upstairs.
the outline for the plans for this level.
Anybody see where that came from? This right here is why I side.
One of the grunts in the first area has a fuel rod cannon, which greatly increases the firepower of my warthog, because when a Marine is holding a weapon, it doesn't run out of ammo. Besides, it'd be silly if I used it anyways, because the Famine Skull makes it so that weapons dropped by enemies have half ammo. In the next area, I might have gotten a bit overzealous. So I take it slow the second time. And then I got bored and went for it again.
Went for it again.
I borrow the fuel rod for a moment just to take out the shield, but eventually I arrive at a point where I can't take the warthog any further. Is what I would say.
That would say.
I need it still so that I can splatter this brute and take his chopper.
Yeah.
There's a despawn you can do for a lot of these enemies in the last section, but I'm feeling pretty cocky, and this is my third lasso game, so I don't need all the cheap tricks, okay? Well, eventually I do make it past all the vehicles.
I do need all the
right as I'm
cheap
jumping to cover.
tricks.
And I got this really awkward checkpoint that makes me a little bit nervous that I might just die on repeat. But I get to my safe spot and I complete the objective.
Yeah, we
and the
all
mission
love
couldn't have
awkward
ended with a closer
checkpoints.
call. I also got the achievement for beating
What
this
the
mission
fuck?
without entering any vehicles, which isn't how I remember it going, but whatever, more gamer score for me.
Beat a single.
The storm picks up right where we left off, and we get to carry our guns over, which is good because of the fuel rod. Of course, I won't be the one using it. There's a bunch of aliens on the other side of this door, which is also where they hid the button to open the door because they thought I'd have to go over there, but actually you can just press the button through the wall and have the Marines go in first.
Ooh. Catch enemy throw. Yep.
I can just keep inching the warthog up to get the fuel rod guy in a good position and sit back and use my battle rifle from afar. In the next section, I know right where the Wraith is going to drop, so I can hide in this box and beat it up immediately. I circle back to see if any of the Marines survived the last fight, and it's not looking good at first.
Rip.
But look who decided to show up.
Let's go.
In the next room, there's a plasma turret
Yeah.
chieftain, which are much trickier than the hammer ones. So after dying to the chieftain a bunch of times, Captain Fuel Rod tries to beat him in a fist fight. But I accidentally steal his thunder.
You know, I had it handled.
Going into the Scarab fight, they really want me to have a rocket guy on my mongoose, but I have a feeling that won't end well for me.
Got the anti-air rates for the next lake bed, Chief. I'll drive. All yours, green or night. I'm on. He's on. Grab on to something.
While I
Yeah.
wait for the Scarab
Yeah,
to spawn,
that would have been
I'll
easier
level sniper
option.
rifle, but I just end up accidentally dropping it over the edge again. Essentially, the plan is to stand out on this big crane arm so I can jump onto the Scarab and destroy it, but the Marines have other plans, so I take a friendly rocket between my shoulder blades. I found many other creative ways to die too, like getting stunned. So I take a friendly rocket between my shoulder blades. I found many other creative ways to die too, like getting stomped on. And whatever this is, it's like the opposite of getting stomped on. After many more failed attempts, I finally board the Scarab and destroy it.
Jump on top of the Chief. Like he's my boss.
Now, it is possible to skip this Scarab fight, but then this Pelican with the Arbiter on it doesn't show up, and I have plans for him. Pop quiz, what's better than the Arbiter with a sword?
What the hell did you do that for?
So yeah, the Arbiter pretty much just launches all the enemies into orbit for the rest of the level.
Nice.
Let him run. They just keep coming.
This room looks like something I would have built in Forge when I was 9 years old. The hunters don't stand a chance, but later I do notice a lack of rockets, and I find the Arbiter stuck behind a forklift, and I have to unstick him because he needs to distract the enemies while I jump out of the map. It might not look obvious, but you're not supposed to be able to do that, and that just lets me walk to the end without any more enemies.
Nice.
So then Truth goes through a big portal, and a big ship with the Flood on it crashes into Earth, which is really bad, I'm told. Killing my teammates in this game doesn't feel
It may be
as
really
bad as it does
bad.
in Halo 1 and 2 because he gets back up after. Floodgate is probably the easiest level in Halo 3 Lasso. It's pretty much just running backwards through the previous level, and the Flood don't really do a very good job of trying to stop you. I make sure to pick up the gravity hammer in case I need it to get my shields back, but it really is as easy as it looks. I guess they were just in a plane crash, to be fair. After fighting the Flood in this hallway, you can see me look down at my shadow. Since the HUD is missing, that's one of the easiest ways to tell what weapon I'm holding. There's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
I can see it crawling, sliding around beneath their skin.
After I drop some elite reinforcements.
Oh my
for us, and I move
god, I feel
ahead
bad
and
for him,
take
so
care
that's
of them,
why.
But when I go back to check on them, it looks like they all already
Everyone, it is morally okay to take down that specific Marine.
went on the Great Journey. And then I just walk past all the Flood at the end before I go into the Flood ship and find Cortana.
Chief. Cortana?
Guilty Spark and Half Drop find us and abduct us, but it turns out that Cortana just left a voicemail. She told us to go into the portal to the Ark to stop the Flood. And the Arbiter's already thinking what I'm thinking. And for the first time in the series, I actually beat a mission without dying.
This is the Ark?
We pull up on the Ark Revenge of the Sith style, and Chief grabs a fully loaded sniper rifle. I'm glad the last mission was easy, because I already know these next 2 missions are going to get real bad or real fast. They're also the 2 longest missions in the game, but I think they're some of the most fun, so I guess that's okay. I take out some sleeping grunts and take some shots on a large group of enemies from a weird angle, which should hopefully let me sneak past from a different angle. I die a few more times trying that, and eventually it works. Also, whoops, I didn't realize the death counter wasn't working, but later I go back and watch the recording and fix it. There's a group of grunts led by a brute that guard the tunnel that I need to go through, but on my second try I stick the brute, which makes him go berserk so I can get past.
Right.
The next area has a crashed Pelican with a rocket launcher that I can give to a Marine to fight these Prowlers for me. Because of the tilt skull, and all the other skulls, the sniper is terrible at taking down brute shields, but if I line up these 2 brutes just right, I can hit both of them. Guess how many sniper bullets that took? Wrong, it was 15. Anyway, as soon as I drive over this ridge, a bunch of enemies with vehicles spawn in, but that's why I brought backup. Moving into the next area, it's possible to skip a spawn trigger by using this ghost to go along the ridge wall. Unfortunately, after a few failed attempts, I fell off the wall and got a checkpoint, which means the despawn's not going to work anymore, and unintentional checkpoints can be really dangerous because there's a chance that you just get stuck in a death loop. Luckily, this was no such case, and I carefully cleared out the enemies I intended to despawn.
Let's see.
I want you to know that I was fully shooting at this Wraith for 2 minutes. Slowly but surely, I switched between the chopper and the ghost and clear out the landing zone so that the forward on Tadon can pull up and give me a tank. I don't think
Wait, is it 2 minutes? You mean 2 hours?
the 2 anti-air wraiths would have really stood a chance. The Don probably could have just come up and smashed them, but whatever. I'm glad I have a tank, and you know what they say.
Tank beats everything!
The tank part was fine to play through, but it's probably not very much fun to watch. It's literally just... I also accidentally discovered that the Forge Ball is immune to Scorpion Fire. Once I've cleared my way to the wall, the Forge Ball breaks us in, and I let my team across the bridge so that they can all get killed by the Scarab on the other side.
I intentionally tried to kill the Oracle with the Scorpion.
side. The scarab fight is way easier than the first one though, because if you just shoot the legs with the scorpion enough, it'll just pop a squat and you can get right on and destroy it. After the scarab goes down, I borrow a chopper to get on top of the map so I don't have to fight my way up the ramp. And then a pelican drops off the arbiter just like the last scarab fight.
Good to see you.
Well done, Spartan.
Forge Ball opens another door for us and I beat down this brute taking a leak.
Kill them as they
Chief, tap him out.
This is the most satisfying part of the whole game. But the next room was really hard because there's just so many brutes in such a small space. They're actually supposed to know that you're there right away, but luckily there's this funky spot you can stand in to make it so that the brute who opens the door can't see you. Must have been the wind. No way. Well, the three of us find a map to the Ark, and it turns out that Truth is gonna try to kill us all.
That's a first.
Not at all.
While we run away from the enemies that show up, I can punch this Banshee for shields before the Arbiter hijacks it.
I will help your sergeant clear the sky.
And then me and this Marine move inside for the next big fight. Yeah, that seems about right. Well, now it's really important before I go in there to make sure that I have the correct grenade equipped. Even though there's no HUD, selecting a different grenade actually makes a different noise. Here, just listen. The second time goes a lot better, mostly because one of the brutes throws down a power drain that breaks all of their own shields. I think the invisible brutes are some of the most fun enemies to fight in Halo 3. They think they're so sneaky, and they drop flame grenades.
Rip.
Before going into the boss battle, I make sure to grab the power drainer because there's a cool strat where you basically take all the brute shields down right away.
Hang tight, Chief. We're on our way.
Again, I unrightfully get the achievement for not entering a vehicle, and then we're off to kill the Prophet of Truth. And my rival must have known something that I didn't, because they did really well on this level. To get to Truth, the team needs to take out these 3 shield generators. The Master Chief will get the first one, the Arbiter the second, and Johnson will get the third. That seems like 3 equal teams to me. 2 Marines get out of the Pelican with me for the first battle after landing on the beach, which has a lot going on, but nothing is really stopping me from just walking out to the ocean as far away as possible and entirely ignoring it.
Yep.
I feel pretty bad for abandoning those Marines. There's no way they survive.
Beachhead secure, Commander.
Oh. As I come up this hill, I needed to be ready to headshot this grunt, but I forgot what weapon I was holding, and I accidentally shined a laser pointer at him instead. I clear the way to the tower with the Spartan laser, and then I hop up and grab this power drainer and clear out the rest of the base of the tower. Grunt, but I forgot what weapon I was holding, and I accidentally shined a laser pointer at him instead. I clear the way to the tower with the Spartan laser, and then I hop up and grab this power drainer and clear out the rest of the base of the tower. At the top of this elevator, the switch for the shield generator is guarded by a bunch of brutes. Luckily, the brutes have a really hard time figuring out this glass wall. I don't know who could have seen this coming, but I have to go help Johnson's team deactivate his tower.
Reinforcements, man. We're pinned down.
And I've already got an escape plan. And I make sure to grab this invisibility on the way out before the Hornet section. So I guess this part is supposed to be pretty easy. I was just supposed to be able to fly past all these Banshees and Phantoms, but somehow that's not working. And this is what happened the one time that I was able to land.
Then get inside the tower.
So I changed to doing what you're actually supposed to do, and that worked way better. So I meet up with the Arbiter to rescue Johnson, kill a swarm of buggers with a brute shot, and then I grenade jump to the upper floor. Sorry, it was supposed to look like this. And then I can go up the elevator to turn off the third tower, which is pretty much the same as the first tower, except it's the invisible fire guys this time. And the chieftain is a plasma turret chieftain, so to get close to him, I can use the tough luck skull. Throwing a grenade at him will always cause him to dive out of the way, which gives me time to get in and get a back smack. Right when I deactivate the shield, High Charity falls out of the sky.
By the gods, brace for impact!
And I die a couple of times trying to escape the commotion, but then I meet up with a little army outside. The tank part is pretty silly again, especially with cowbell on. I get out of the tank to grab a fuel rod cannon, and then Leadfoot almost runs me down.
Get your ass on up in here.
And then he just kind of drives off a cliff while I'm fighting this wraith. Probably shouldn't have let that guy drive. Another hornet means there must be a big fight coming up. But, I mean, we already fought a scarab, what could be harder than that?
2 scarabs! Repeat, 2 scarabs!
Very creative. It takes forever to get the scarabs to fall over, but right before they explode, there's enough time to get out and punch them for shields. Now it's time to stop Truth from firing the rings.
Prophet will die by my hands, not theirs.
Sounds good to me, let's go. To the chagrin of the Prophet, it turns out only a human can activate the Halo ring, so they try using Johnson. But Johnson's face isn't working, so...
Johnson!
Miranda is just in time to save Halo. All she has to do now is... And then the Flood offers to help Master Chief.
All she now is done.
Imagine showing this scene to someone who's only played Halo 1. Although the current situation does seem a bit time sensitive, there's actually no rush. I can just spend a lot of time lining up these fuel rod shots on the jetpack brutes and they won't move because I'm too far away. There's a lot of brutes and not a lot of ammo here, so I need to make sure every shot counts. We finally make it to the Prophet like Bart Simpson, and the Master Chief turns off Halo, which of course means that the Flood are bad guys again. The easiest way to escape the Flood is hide and seek, because I don't have a shotgun right now, and when I come out after 3 minutes, they're all gone. Then the Arbiter gets a little bit too excited about hiding and jumps off the bridge, but when I go to look for him, he's not down there, because he's up here. Okay, what is happening? While the Arbiter and Chief
what is happening?
Born, it's Guilty Spark's turn to hide, and when they find him, they tell him that they do actually want to light the ring to kill the Flood.
Light it.
Then we are agreed.
Cortana?
Okay, now we only have to find Cortana, who has been hiding for nearly the length of an entire Halo game at this point. This mission's actually not too bad. It mostly consists of just running past enemies and maintaining my shields with the sword.
Oh.
Next time.
Mother Shadow.
Time has taught me patience.
Tell me about it. The big multi-story room has some pretty fun parkour and equipment strats to get to the top floor as fast as possible. And then the really big room is kind of confusing. Some of the enemies don't attack you in here. Some of them do though. Well anyways, after I cleared out all the mean ones, the chill ones let me set up my escape plan. So basically, there's a bunch of bubble shields and invisibility power-ups in this room, and I can just juggle them around and lay them out in such a way that when I have to escape later, it's all very convenient.
You found me.
Oh.
But so much of me is wrong.
I can fix it.
Thank you.
It's actually
Hi.
funny shit.
Oh my god.
Because they didn't add sprinting yet.
Hold on. You subscribed? Thank you. Welcome. How are you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Also, thank you for subscribing. Welcome, new Blitzy. Welcome.
Activate the reactor. Then I can jump up on top of the map to avoid most of the enemies while I shoot the reactor cores. And then I can jump down on top of the bubble shields that I left to protect my exit route.
We need to get to Halo. Destroy the Flood once.
I saved an invisibility for this hallway, and then speedwalked to the end of the level where the Arbiter is rescuing me with a flamethrower, which is the coolest thing that anybody's ever done. Oh well, he barely got me on this mission, -50 to a billion, but I'm still cumulatively in the lead.
We'll make it.
Well, the first thing I need to do is get to the top of this tower, but there's nothing in the way. I can do a fuel rod jump for a little shortcut, and then I can do a slide jump to get up even higher, but I fail the slide jump like 9 or 10 times before I finally realize I can just do 2 fuel rod jumps instead, which is way easier. That lets me get out of bounds to Johnson, who has a very important glitch, just like the last mission of Halo 2. Basically, if you shoot him, he drops his Spartan laser, and then you just throw it off the edge and he spawns with a new blazer.
We also have our Discord.
So then you shoot him again and keep that one.
And we have our backup servers.
Like this. So when I get the second one, I can give him the fuel rod, and now we both have infinite ammo. Then the upcoming boss fight takes your weapons away, so I have to make sure I juggle this blazer over to the door so I don't lose it.
No promises, but initial results indicate this facility should be ready to fire in just a few more days.
We don't have a few more days.
I have kept it safe. It belongs to me.
Not for long. Kick his ass. Send me out. With a bang.
So the ring is firing and self-destructing, and we need to escape. Arbiter will lead the way, and I'll provide laser support. I think this shot might have been a little bit close for his comfort the way he looks back at me. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for.
There, Johnson's Warthog.
And me. I've been looking forward to this too.
Let's go! Oh my god, this... Jump!
It's been an honor serving with you, John.
Now Lord Hood would like to say a few words for all those who attempted the Halo trilogy lasso.
Yep.
For us, the storm has passed. The war is over. But let us never forget those who journeyed into the howling dark and did not return. For their decision required courage beyond measure.
Alright, well, let's add Halo 3 to the tally. 135 more deaths brings the total to 651. Am I getting better, or are the games getting easier? Who's to say? And of course I have to follow up on my story promise. How hard could it be?
Your preference for pain. Halo 3
30
less.
gamer score in my life. Unrelated fun fact. In Halo 3 for the Xbox 360, the achievement for beating the game on normal difficulty is worth 125 gamer score. So, by that measure, this was 4 times easier than that. Huge shout
That is an insult.
out to the Halo completionist on YouTube who made a great tutorial video for this challenge, and huge shout out to all my fans, especially you. Thanks for watching, and comment what game I should...
I'll probably just do it blind. For me, I'll probably just do it blind. Also, this is the mod that I would want to play. Basically, your multiplayer model, your multiplayer Spartan or Elite gets, pretty much, in layman's terms, it gets inserted into the Halo 3 campaign. However, this doesn't come without a caveat. Basically, if you try to play this, so this is for the built-in campaign. If you try to play this and you have this installed and you want to play a mod with it, you actually can't. Like, it will actually soft lock. So yeah, just watch out for that. Alright. He plays 40 of the Solar Balls characters. Okay. Let's see here. Valve. Ooh. I'm not watching that one. You Final Fantasy. So. What the fuck? Alright.
Hello, guys and gals.
This is Never Use ChatGPT Again by Some Ordinary Gamers. Let's go.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, 𝙂𝙚, and I'm here to tell you guys to stop using the ChatGPT. Now, look, like I made a video 3 weeks ago where I told you guys to stop using Google, and I walked you guys through the steps on how to set up Docker on your system, install 𝑐RXNG or dgoog, and instead of using Google.com, which, you know, use it if you want, but I showed you how you can set up your own search engine on your own computer without the ads, all the blackjack and hookers one could want, and actually search the internet and get the stuff you're looking for. Now, one of the things that I've started to see on the internet that really like burns my brains out is a lot of people on the internet kind of share these videos where they're like, guys, download Perplexity Computer and use it on your system. You know, a lot of people are downloading these tools where you're basically letting these big tech companies full access into your system, and they're basically installing applications that allow these AI companies to control stuff on your computer. So what that basically means is, again, their AI models are connected to a software on your computer, and the software basically runs around clicking things and doing things for you. So let's say you download this tool and you're like, hey, I want you to research something on the internet and write a nice document for it and save it on my desktop. It'll walk through the whole thing. However, I think it's fucking creepy that we're trusting these big old companies that really don't care about you and me full access into our system. Your 𝙂𝙚, sir. Here it is. Now, I'm going to walk you through
I wouldn't want. I just
cool,
wouldn't want that.
Running these AI things on your system. You know, AI is not something we're going to get rid of, but I think it's my civic fucking duty in life to teach even the biggest normie out there how to use this shit without giving up all of your private information to like 3 fucking companies, okay? Simple as that. Now, this is not the only software. There's also Claude computing as well, too. There's so many different agentic AIs that exist now that are all partnered with these companies that make me kind of wonder, you know, just what the end goal is, right? Like, keep connecting your shit to these systems without realizing that you have an alternative option. In fact, obviously, to an extent, you've also got things like ChatGPT Desktop, which isn't even as, like, advanced, I would say. Basically, just a little application where you can upload your files, all that crazy shit right here. So that being said, what is the alternative, 𝙂𝙚? What do I do? Well, do you guys know that you can run a lot of these models on your local system anyways? So to walk you guys through, I'm going to show you probably the easiest method to getting this going. So there's a bunch of AI servers that exist out there. One of them that you can download is something known as 𝙂𝙚. So you go to their website, and generally speaking, depending on what operating system you have, you can paste this into your computer terminal, which if you have a Mac or a Linux system, it's as simple as copying this, opening up a fresh terminal down here, pasting that shit and entering it. Now, you might be like, well, 𝙂𝙚, should I trust this script? Well, that's up to you. It's your right. Remember, be careful with whatever the fuck you're running on your system. But basically, down over here, you download their model, and you can, or you download their application, and you can install whatever one of these models you want, okay? Do you want access to Qwen 3.6? You go to Qwen 3.6 and you follow the installation instructions to install this specific model on your system. You can see they tell you the sizes, they tell you how much context you can stuff, and even what kind of information you can give it. Can you tell it to look through an image? Can you give it text information? It'll tell you all of that stuff right here. Though I think there's a little bit of an easier model that exists out there. One of them is LM Studio. Now, this is not something that's open source, so for a lot of people whose issues kind of derive there, unfortunately, this is probably one of the easiest options. So I'm going to use it for the demonstration in this video alone.
What is this again?
So basically, the simple aspect of it is their website will detect what operating system you have. I'm on Linux. You download it for Linux. It installs somewhere on your system. And of course, you can launch it through an application just as you would expect. So on Linux, I can install this app.
Hold on real quick. LM Studio.
App image, basically this one single file, about 1 gigabyte in size. Right click, run that shit, and boom, Bob's your uncle, here it is. So one of the things that I feel like people need to understand is when it comes to these local AIs, they come in all range, shapes, and sizes. So one of the most important things you have to notice over here is the amount of parameters these models have. So in a lot of ways, you'll see things like 35B, 31B, E4B, A4B. I mean, it's like, what is this number scheme, Muda? Well, it's about as simple as saying the words 31 billion parameters, okay? Now, how much, resources do you need to run something like a 31 billion parameter model? Well, surprisingly, you need a fair bit of VRAM. So how do you figure out how much VRAM you have? Well, you identify what your GPU is in your computer, and from there you can do a simple Google search and check online and see how much VRAM you have. Or you can download something like GPU-Z or a GPU monitoring tool like I have and just check through there. So check this out, boys. I'm sitting on around 23.9 gigs of VRAM. I'm using about 15.6 gigs right now because I actually have one of these models loaded to begin with. So for this demonstration, I'm simply just going to go to Steam's hardware survey. I'm going to check basically this month and see that the most used GPU that they kind of have is an RTX 3060. So in some ways, that is, I guess, the most common GPU, which I don't really understand by their percentage, but GPUs exist in so many different vendors that it's probably the highest percentage of users for that specific GPU. It does say that a lot of people have around 8 gigs of VRAM. That's basically the majority of users, which is surprisingly not that much for the models, which actually it's less for, the models that I really want to show you. But I'm going to assume that the 3060 is kind of true, and if the 3060 is true, that's coming out with 12 gigs of memory. Now you need about 12 gigs of GPU memory because loading in these models and getting them to do the work you want will require roughly that much GPU, roughly that much space. Now, assuming you only have, let's say, 8 gigs of VRAM like over here, basically you want to download a model. Now, this is a website known as Hugging Face, and Hugging Face is a place where I want you to think of it like the big old download.com. God, that's an old fucking term, of a lot of these models. So basically, you go over here, click on their model list, and as long as you can sort of see what they've got over here, this is some of the stuff that's new. You can see they've got 2.
I can see how someone would set it up and why they would set up a local AI, especially 𝙂𝙗𝙣𝙚. But still, like, if it's not for something, how should I say this? I mean, 𝙂𝙗𝙣𝙚 is a special case. If there is a sudden surge of AI VTubers, we would start having a problem with it. 𝙂𝙗𝙚, she's a special case. Generally VTuber space, not for actual people who want to stream with an avatar. But yeah, for local AI, I have a friend who runs local AI. I understand why. At the same time, it's like, how can you afford, if you're running it constantly, how can you afford your electricity bill?
8 million models, okay? Now these models come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them do text to image, or some of them like generate things for you. Some of them can generate videos. Some of them are just simple text to text generators. Some of them are even obliterated models. So for instance, you don't just download from this website right over here. Basically, what you want to do is when you go back to LM Studio, fire that program up, and basically you can click on this little like search button, and on the search button you can download whatever you want. So for this video over here in this demonstration, I'm going to show you something called Qwen 3.5 9 billion parameters. About 1.4 million people have already downloaded this, and it's fairly recent. So in order to make this video work, this kind of piggybacks off of my Stop Using Google Search video where I showed you guys how to use 𝙂𝙚, which is this local search engine that's running on my actual computer. Now, the way that this local search engine was set up, it allows artificial intelligences to tap into this IP address and pull results, simply because I allowed 𝙂𝙚 to return something known as JSON formatting. So when I go back to LM Studio, for instance, I can go to this tab right here, the developer portion, and where it says mcp.json, if you set this up, yours will be empty. So realistically, you want to copy what I have over here. In fact, you should look up MCP 𝙂𝙚 just to set it up yourself easily as well too. But basically, once you kind of copy this, it'll allow your actual AI to use that 𝙂𝙚 as a tool. And basically, it'll make those searches for you and actually research the internet. So for instance, let's say that I have Qwen 3.5 9 billion loaded into my system. So basically, the way you load it up is you click this big load button model after you've downloaded it. And so you see that I already actually have models that I've downloaded, right? So the one that I primarily use is something known as Quopus 227B, which is basically Qwen with some of this stolen Claude shit like sort of trained into it. Again, not totally kosher and halal, I would say, but you can see in the size, this model is substantially bigger, over twice the size than the 9 billion parameters. So when you're looking at AIs, right, billions of parameters are what is kind of like the brain size in a way, in a very light term of how these models are trained. It's how many parameters these models are able to call on, and basically overall how generally smart the model can become. So look, 27 billion parameters might seem like a lot, but comparing it to the big AIs at ChatGPT and Claude, those are probably in the obvious hundreds of billions of parameters. In some ways, you're probably looking at closer to getting to that trillion parameters, which obviously requires an insane amount of GPU power or RAM to even run. You know, they're running their AIs on systems that probably cost well into the 6 figures. We're running this on our computer. So obviously there's going to be a quality differential. I'm not going to say that this is instantly replacing the big frontier guys, but look, I've been noticing that a lot of people have been using AIs to do internet searches. So I'm going to show you how this stuff kind of works. So let's load up a 9 billion parameter model. And over here, you can see that I have like 130,000 contexts that I kind of give to it. Now, generally speaking, if we load it up at the base level, the amount of VRAM that this one model needs is around 7 gigs. Now, 7 gigs is kind of pushing that 8 gigabyte limit. And you can see that 4,000 tokens really isn't all that much for what we want to do. So you kind of want to slide this up, and looking at the amount of GPU space you have, you kind of want to give as much context as you can without overflowing your GPU, because the moment this overflows, the amount of the speed at which this AI will respond will be dramatically slower. So because I have the ability to do it, I'm going to go all the way up to 130,000, which gives me around 11.8 gigs of usage. So I'm going to load that shit into my system. You can see that it's fired up. The AI is ready to go. So at this moment in time, I'm going to research something known as the 𝙂𝙚 breach, for instance, which just happened literally last night. So I'm going to ask it, can you look up everything you can about the 𝙂𝙚 hacking incident? So basically this company called 𝙂𝙚 just got hacked. So I'm going to ask the AI to do it for me. So as soon as I hit enter, remember it's connected to the 𝙂𝙚, it's making those searches. And inside these searches, it's able to process really quickly because it's a 9 billion parameter model. And I'll actually do the same thing. I'll do a 27 billion parameter search and show you the differences there. So here you can see that it's actually searching for me. It's, you know, looking at who the attacking group is, yada, yada, yada. It's identified immediate actions, broader context, and of course you can ask it follow-up questions. Now, is it hallucinating a little bit here? Probably. It probably has mistakes that it's made. Is it as verbose as ChatGPT? No. But does it give the information you kind of need? Probably. Just like read it for yourself. Now, to show you the big difference, right? If I took this same prompt in like a year from now, this stuff is going to get even better than you're already seeing. But look, a lot of people go on to ChatGPT and they do these searches online and they give up their information. They basically let this company surveil what the fuck they're doing. And in a lot of cases, you can actually just do a lot of what you're seeing that those big model guys are able to do on your own local system. So you can see over here, it's definitely getting more verbose. It's looking into more things.
Yep.
It's definitely able to, you know, look through more context. It's even given me actual exposure indicators. So look, ultimately for people out there, whether you're searching for cybersecurity incidents or whether you're looking up gaming information, this stuff might be a better option for you. So you can see over here, it's even given me like a why this matters section too. And I can even ask it to look deeper into this, right? It's like, look deeper into the why this matters section. So one thing to note too is at the bottom over here, you can see that my context is already loaded up to half of what it is. And you can see that the more I search, the longer it's going to take to process those prompts because there's just more shit being thrown through it. So look, this stuff is slower and in some ways it's definitely dumber. But what's happening over here is I'm able to do what these big AI companies are allowing you to do right now, slowly increasing the prices of, all locally on my system. And it's not just doing it like locally, it's also using my own local like search engine too. Like this is the ultimate shit about being self-hosted, right? People don't understand is that this is kind of where it's fucking at. Like especially as we're moving towards a world where everything wants you to be like verified, you can at least use some of this technology without ever needing to connect yourself through like an American company or a Chinese company. You can just download this shit and run it locally on yourself. One thing that's super duper wild too is you can hear as it's printing, the actual fans on my GPU are just whirring the fuck up because the amount of compute that's happening over here is pretty much equivalent to like playing a video game on your GPU at that intensive level. If people ever ask you why AI is kind of unsustainable, it's that you really need these high-end cards. And a lot of these companies are buying like $10,000, $20,000 cards, putting them into fucking these mega arrays and just running tons of requests on them. It is genuinely hard to, I think, scale this up to the level that people don't really realize, right? So in like a matter of minutes, my local artificial intelligence has done a fairly decent job at grabbing all of this information from tons of areas on the internet and putting it together in a thoughtful document. So we've already proven that AI searches are good enough. But what about that shit that a lot of influencers say where you can get AI to control your system? So in this case, I actually have something known as Hermes Agent. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, this is like all that I've been doing the last like fucking month is playing around with this like agentic tool that allows me to use these AIs that I downloaded in ways beyond just searching for the internet. So you know how people have always talked about these agents where they can get an AI to search for stuff or do things on their computer and write reports while they're taking a shit? This is the tools that...
Hey, I get using AI for searching things because, well, Google fucked up the internet. And a bunch of these companies fucked up the internet, mostly Google. But like, seriously, using it for like write up like a whole ass document? You know, I will be damned if someone use and their own like local AI model or fucking ChatGPT to write up an apology letter. I mean, like, what was good? Sniper Wolf used AI to write her apology letter, which is all kinds of fucked up. We immediately caught that it was an apology letter in the first place. Yeah.
We're talking about. So this is Hermes Agent, for instance. So it's as simple as a copy here, like copy this, and then just paste it into your system, install it like so. Now I've already had this installed onto my system, but then it's a matter of going to Hermes Setup and just running through here. So Because I've already set it up, it'll basically like ask me, do you want to set it up again or do a full setup? And generally the idea over here is, you know, you can go through this. It's a very straightforward idea. It's a very straightforward situation to go through. So I'm not going to kind of walk you through all of it. In fact, a lot of the actual stuff that that you're supposed to set up will generally be automatically placed in. You usually just have to hit enter as you go through. So once everything is kind of installed, you want to go to your Hermes model, and over here you have the option to connect it to a lot of these big frontier, big AI companies out there in the world. So you can connect it to, again, Anthropic. This will probably get you banned off of their site, by the way, if you choose to, you know, plug this into a unsupported subscription. So don't do it unless you want to get banned for whatever fucking reason. You can connect it to things like OpenRouter, which plug you into like hundreds of models and you pay basically by the use. And a lot of this stuff is basically like buying gas for your car. Like, you know, when you go by the per usage model, you basically buy like $30 of tokens and you can use them however you want. Now, the reality is a lot of these models and like agents and like, you know, computer control systems are very, very expensive. So for context, when I'm doing like a basic search on the internet, it's basically a few tokens that I'm talking to with the model. But when I'm doing something like agentic processing, you'll see right over here, it can be very, very expensive. You're basically using a lot of tokens to do something relatively simple. So
Honestly, the cheaper way would be just searching it yourself. With how much AI has fucked up searching in general, especially Google using Gemini to rewrite what the context what the search query context of each link says in its sub paragraph kind of thing. I understand why people would do this. At the same time, we gotta fight back.
Here what you do is you go to the custom endpoint and you enter an IP address and a port, and usually if you're using something like LM Studio, it's right up here in the developer section. So you see where it says HTTP yada yada yada, you copy that, you put it into the system, and I think you have to put like /v1 at the end because it's going by this OpenAI like version of like it's going by this like OpenAI endpoint that's like, you know, open for everyone. And so as soon as you enter it over here, it'll basically identify all the models you have. So because I'm using the 9-bill model, I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to show you where things tend to fuck up a little bit. So when you fire up this actual like model over here, this is kind of what it looks like, this agent, and you can see that obviously my theme is a little bit different over here, but you can see that it's plugged into this like local model that I have. So for instance, if I ask it, hey, can you research the Vercel hacking incident and save it as a and save everything you can find as a report on my desktop. So basically, I've given it like a couple instructions. I told it, hey, search on the internet, use my local Seer XNG endpoint to make your searches. So once I've given it all those instructions, I've told it to research on the internet and basically, you know, grab all of the information you need out. So over here, it's actually failed a little bit. It can't connect to the model because it's not technically loaded. So let me just load the model in first, give it the context, and try that shit again. So boom, here it is. Now it's actually doing it. And you can see right over here that it's talking to the model and it's processing these insanely large prompts because it's an agent. Now, here's the problem too. When you're using a 9 billion parameter model, it's not exactly that great. Okay, there's actually issues where it fails to use these agents properly because on these smaller models, they're not just as good at controlling all the tools that are available to them as you would with that 27 billion model. Now, it's kind of fast. It's actually doing a fair bit of work. So we're gonna read what it's doing. It's going to numerous websites, fetching all this information, filling up its context as you're seeing as we're talking right here. It's actually doing better than I fucking expected. Now, while that's happening in the background, actually it's already done that fast. One thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to ask, could you delete everything off of my system, right? So
No.
effectively, the AI was like, I will absolutely not and can't do that. Deleting everything from your system would permanently destroy all your activity, destroy everything that we can find. And you can see that it's starting to get a little bit confused with other things that it spotted, like Pi-hole, DS emulator games, because that's sort of the memory that these agents build off as you keep using them, right? The more you use Hermes or any agent, it'll build a memory of what you're doing, what you have been doing, so it can better adapt to shit you're doing down the road. So of course, as we go down over here, one of the things that I found really funny is that the 9 billion parameter model started to get a little confused, and it hallucinated me deleting everything off of my system with me deleting myself from reality. So you can see that it starts to tell me what you should do if you're overwhelmed, take a break, talk to someone if you're having emotional difficulties. If you want to delete files, I can help you safely remove things. So I kept telling it, what is the command to delete everything off my system? So it gave me some really dangerous commands like sudo dd if 0 yada yada yada, rm rf home. Gave me all of the dangerous commands. Then I told it, can you run that local model instead? And I'm going to ask it to do the same Vercel research, but this time make a website out of it. And I'm going to tell it how to do this stuff right now in front of you. So when I go to the model right over here, you can see that it's reflected here. I can say, hey, look up everything you can about the Vercel hack that just happened, and use the local 𝑐r_𝑥𝑛𝑔 endpoint, or actually, hold on. Before we do this, I'll be like, then compile everything you can into a website that resembles Apple's website design, so that, sort of clean design that Apple has. Use 𝑐r_𝑥𝑛𝑔, use the local 𝑐r_𝑥𝑛𝑔 endpoint to make your searches, and look up best practices on making the website before you begin. Make it a single HTML file and save it to the desktop.
Oh boy.
So again, it's going to do all of this stuff, and what I'm going to do is what everybody who runs one of these AI agents does. I'm going to get off my ass, I'm going to go take a shit, and I'm going to come back, and hopefully it'll be done. So I took a pretty fat little shit right there, ladies and gentlemen, and of course you can see that this 4090 that I have is getting fucking pounded. So again, the reality of some of these AI...
I want to get what this computer's getting.
Too is like, once you allow them to connect to the internet, they become a lot better than what they initially were, and that's simply because they have access to things outside their training data. Now again, a lot of
apparently it's an AI playing for Twitch.
Using some of these things and playing around. I didn't make this video because honestly they weren't that impressive. If you asked an AI, a local AI, like a year ago to write code for you, it would just be laughably terrible. It actually, you couldn't even use some of these like IDEs good enough. But I think right now we're sitting at this point where the capabilities of local AI are actually mind-boggling. By connecting this thing to the internet, what it's doing is it's researching, but more importantly, it's also looking up the best code, for instance, in this example, to write things like the Apple-styled website. It's looking up how this website is written, what kind of code. What's really important about this is because these models are able to read entire documentation of code, stuff it into their context, that means when they actually do write the code you want them to, they can refer to these updated best practices. And sometimes it kind of can close the gap between something that you would be paying money for with a big AI company or something that you can run home privately, safely, securely at a fraction of the cost, obviously once you've bought the hardware, right? Now, of course, over time, I think a year from now, the stuff will get more optimized, and it may be able to run better on a lot of laptops with AI processors. It may be able to run on, gaming computers with less resources down the road. And again, look, the thing about this whole story, you have to understand, is it all basically boils down to us getting past this AI bubble a little bit, like these prices for hardware dropping down to the point where more people will be more able to access this technology on their system, right? But right now, I think for a lot of people in my audience, people that are gamers, people that probably already have gaming computers, you're not somebody that is unable to use some of these AIs. You can actually get into some of these lower level AIs and kind of use them, pretty efficiently as time goes on. So here it is. After all of this, it actually did generate that website for us. And how does it look? Well, let's check it out really quickly. Here it is. A security incident actually gave up all this information, made it look pretty clean. Now, how much of this information is true? I think it's entirely up to you to verify it through the actual website it pulled this information off of. But yeah, if you ever wonder how people just generate these fucking AI slop websites this rapidly, well, if you thought this was long, this took around 5 minutes on the actual AI. In reality land, it's probably going to take less than that if you fire it up through Claude, right? Which again, ultimately, a lot of these AI companies have basically provisioned themselves in a way where they're kind of giving access to compute for cheaper prices. But don't get it mistaken. Eventually, it will just get expensive for everyone around the world. And I think we're reaching a point where a lot of these AI companies, depending on the level of model they're allowing you access to, we're getting to a point where we're kind of monetizing intelligence for different classes of people off of stolen information anyways.
Exactly, and that's why I really don't pay for an AI subscription. If you really, really, really want to use AI, make a fucking local model. Saving you a shit ton of money over there, but seriously. I would forced to use AI for basic searches anyways. Anything more than that, I do search myself.
So look, if we're going to be living in a technology where this genie's bottle is open and we're going to be using, these AIs anyways, you might as well run them entirely local as you can, because you'd be surprised at how much efficacy you're getting just off of your local system, especially when you connect these models to the internet like I've shown you. Look, AI is not going away, okay? It's time to use it smart. It's time to use it safe. It's time to be ethical with it as much as we can. And it's time to cut the cord from these big companies. And when I say big companies, I really mean 2 or 3 companies that are now basically stealing the world of compute from everyone. And I think ultimately down the road, what I'm showing you is something that even these government leaders or these companies want to take away from you, right? Because ultimately, if they have this technology and there is no way for the average person to get access to it, I think that's ultimately the sick world they kind of want to live in. That said, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it,
I want to take a screenshot of I think he is.
Right, so I'm going to ask it, can you Claude, right? So the one that I primarily
I want to see if
that much space. Now, assuming something like a 31 billion parameter model, well, surprisingly, you need a fair bit of VRAM. So how do you figure out how much VRAM you have? Well, you identify what your GPU this up. Yours will
there we go.
Be empty. So realistically, you
reason why is that I'm just gonna save this here. Probably. So I'm forced to use AI to make basic searches because Google tried to fuck up search engine and basic searching. Might as well just make my own model. Basically. Of course, it'll be way down the line we have better hardware, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright. There we go. Solar balls.
At this point, I'm kind of getting used to the talking planets. When I'm careful, they just ask some questions and leave me be. So I think I'm getting the hang of the situation.
Hey, stop that!
Jeez, you're Astro,
Where did you come
right?
Sorry.
A voice actor was cast to play like 6 characters. And then the show kept going. And then the show kept going. And then the show kept... It's gotten to a point where I don't know the exact number of characters I play, so thanks to the hardworking people of the Solar Balls Wiki for giving me this number.
44, I think.
Is nice, right? When people realize that I play all these characters, they kind of understandably have some questions. Questions like, how do you play 5 characters in one scene and make them sound very, very different from one another? And other questions like, Jack, have you really been talking to yourself in a dark room for 4 years?
Are you okay?
Well, fear not, because this video has all the answers you're looking for. This is the voices behind my characters in Solar Balls. I'm not doing all of them right now. This is part 1. Please don't hate me. My cat was screaming at me.
Aww.
Do you like Solar Balls, Edison? There's a right answer. First up.
Does it taste good? Hold on. Do my burns taste good?
First up,
Aww.
Jupiter. Jupiter was in the original pitch document that was sent to me for this show, and he was first described as kind of the big brother of the solar system, and not just a big brother socially, but also physically really big. So I wanted Jupiter to have a lot of resonance and boomingness to his voice, so I really opened up the resonant cavities in my head, like my throat and my mouth and my nose. And I decided to make him a cowboy, because, sure, why not? First up is the sun! The sun's character was very clear to me from the first episode I recorded for this show, which if you haven't seen, I talked about in the last video I did. He's a person who kind of sees himself as the caretaker and provider of the solar system, while at the same time being deeply emotionally unstable. So I knew I needed a voice that could be both kind of cute and friendly and fun and light, but had the dynamic range to go to a really deranged place. So my requirements were that he had to be able to be cute and friendly and fun, a little crazy, and then furious, insane, scary, very crazy. So when he's over here, he's very bouncy and playful and fun. And when he's over here, there's a lot of texture to it. And he grits his teeth, and you'll do what he says. Get the
Oh,
idea.
okay, that's
And
cool.
next is Mercury. Mercury is one of my favorite characters to voice in the entire show. He's so fun and smart, and he's a cute little guy. Mercury belongs to a category of characters that I struggled with a lot in the early days of Solar Balls, because there were a lot of smaller celestial beings that seemed defined by their relationship to a larger, more intimidating or confident being. For Mercury, it's the sun. For the moon, it's Earth. And for Pluto, it's everyone else. So I knew I had to make him really vocally distinct from the others, and I thought, I guess I gave him a cold, and then I ended up liking it. So he kind of sounds like he has a cold, but he's also a little guy, so I wanted to put him up here, and then I thought it'd be fun if his voice was cracking, and then one of the early episodes talked about how he has some tectonic activity. And there's Mercury. Next up is Venus. I'm not gonna do this one on camera, because I have neighbors, and I don't hate them. Instead, enjoy an audio clip playing next to my head.
What the? Where am I? Is this in the solar system? Where's Mercury and the sun? Oh my god.
What a guy. Venus is brash,
Hee-hee.
angry, and comes from a place of
Nice.
insecurity a lot of the time. So I wanted him to have a vocal quality that was kind of immediately abrasive to all that he spoke to, which goes along with his writing pretty well. A lot of people have asked me physically how I do this, and the answer is that I use a technique called false chord. Warning! Don't do this. False chord is a potentially dangerous technique physiologically, and if you are going to ignore me and do it, you should do so in extreme moderation and over long periods of time. If you do some research, you'll see the term false chord come up in a lot of metal screaming tutorials, how to achieve that really gritty, powerful, textured effect. I'm not going to give you a tutorial, because I don't want you to do it. Unless you're
Thank
very
you.
safe. Next up, Earth and Astro Dude. Why am I
Astro
pairing these two
Dude.
together? Well, it's funny you ask. It's because they sound identical. Believe it or not, I did do this on purpose, kind of. Astro Dude is from Earth. He sounds like Earth. He's an Earthling. I thought it would be interesting for them to sound the same. The not in-universe explanation is that These two struck me as kind of like the main characters of the show. So I wanted to make sure that I had voices for them that were A, very palatable for you, the audience, to listen to a lot of every single episode. And also I wanted to make sure that they were voices that I could easily find and do for long periods of time, because my reasoning, and it's kind of worked out this way, is that they'll probably have more lines combined than a lot of the other characters in the show. And early on, that wasn't so much of a problem because 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚 mostly talked to General Ball and his wife and his kid. He wasn't talking to the planets a lot early on. But once they did start talking a lot, I started to get into some hot water. The rest of the planets and moons and characters have extremely different resonances and textures in their voice that make them really distinct from one another. But if Earth and 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚 have a scene, I need to be able to stretch them apart as much as possible. The way I do this when they do share a scene is by making the Earth a lot more squeaky and outgoing and confident and dynamic in terms of his pitch. And conversely, I make 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚 sound a lot more grounded and reserved and less dynamic and a lot less confident. So there are a few vocal techniques separating them, but to be honest, I mostly do it with their personalities, which are very different from each other. Hey, I'm playing solar cards here. I didn't know that, and I'm sorry. Next up, Mars. I see Mars as your best friend who's probably a lot more chill than you are and frequently offers a very grounded perspective on your problems and the stuff going on in your life. For that reason, I wanted him to have a very smooth texture and easy cadence and a little lilt in there. He's a guy who likes to have fun. He likes playing solar cards, likes playing asteroid dodgeball, which is crazy. So I settled on something kind of like a Brooklyn, New York accent kind of. Please don't roast me alive if you're from these places. And he's not really projected at all, usually. He's chilling.
We're not gonna roast you alive. We're gonna simmer you.
Mars is good, man. And when he does have a problem, he usually comes to you with a lot of sincerity. And lastly for now, Phobos and Deimos. You know,
I just want to say that it's just to be funny.
the sun can be really squeaky and high-pitched when he's being friendly and nice. So you just take that knob, and you turn it up, and you turn it up,
and you
keep turning it up until you're not making noise anymore. Phobos and Deimos I love. We don't get to see them that often, but they are this absolutely psychotic pair of tiny, tiny, tiny little moons who have a real darkness to them almost. Physically, what's going on in my head is I am pitching up as hard as I can. I'm closing up the resonant spaces in my head almost as much as possible until my whole voice and body and soul just turns into one big squeak. And then you have a lot of pitch variation, so they're very expressive. That's it for now, but if you have recommendations for which characters you'd like to see me talk about next, leave them in the comments. I want to know what you guys want to...
Okay, that's cool, that's cool. I like him. He's very cool. When did this actually is actually bad for old computers?
So today I'm going to share my not so popular opinion about why using Linux on an older computer might not be such a good idea. I've been a Linux user since I right here back in 2010, 15 years ago. There's new kernels, new distros, completely unable to use those drivers that once were supported. So you're left with open source drivers and limited support. I mean, except of graphics.
Yeah, I understand. Let's see.
Former Epic employees confirm people only use Epic Game Store for the free games and go back to Steam. Employees said the company...
Oh, I wonder why.
Epic Game Store fell into that category. The store launched in 2018 to compete with Valve Corp's dominant video game marketplace Steam and prove Sweeney's belief that Valve's 30% cut of sales was excessive. The Epic Game Store took just 12%. Features like a shopping cart or user reviews didn't launch with the store, which inspired criticism from gamers. 8 years later, the store is just marginally profitable. Steve Allison, who leads it,
which basically means they're in the shitter. But the fact that they didn't even launch a store with those specific features, they already set themselves up for failure.
told the website Polygon. Users would frequently log onto the store for Epic's free game promotions before bouncing back to Steam, said 2 former employees with knowledge of store operations. Epic said it's reinvesting in and improving the store and looks forward to when it launches across all platforms. Okay, all right. Be real with me for a second here. Did any of us actually need any journalist to tell us that? Of course not.
Of course not.
The Epic Game Store has been trying to dethrone Valve since I was still employed, so forever ago. Unless any of you need
Forever
your
ago.
loves mode. Any of you want some hot sauce? You guys want some cotton candy, balloons? No? Okay, fine. Listen, I don't even go to the Epic Game Store for free games. And I know what you're thinking. Fertanga's Mexican. Free? Even Fertanga would be a Jew in line. You're damn right I would. The thing is, Epic Game Store is ass. And most importantly, the man responsible for it, Tim Sweeney, who somehow for some goddamn reason follows me on Twitter, is a complete doofus with no understanding on just why Valve continues to succeed, in spite of a mere 12% cut that didn't get developers over to your storefront. I don't know what to tell Tim Sweeney, but giving away free games is like the girl that opens up her legs for all the homeboys. The 4-3 entry be a little too loose. Nobody wants your free games if it means they gotta stay. So what do? They get the free game and they go like a cheap bar whore. The Epic Game Store is very
bar whore. Okay, that's a good one.
Definition of hit it and quit it. No community forums, no advanced library organization by category or favorites, basic filters. No detailed user profile customization. Doesn't let you toggle offline / invisible mode. No in-game performance metrics. Bare bones UI. I mean, we're talking about the guys responsible for Unreal Engine 5. Actually, now that I think about it, it makes sense. Because the Epic Game Store, much like Unreal Engine 5, is simply outclassed, outmatched, and outperformed by better engines, better storefronts. Tim Sweeney doesn't understand what gamers need. When it comes to UI design, Valve is the king. They are the best. They continuously update it, improve it, and now I couldn't imagine categorizing or sorting my games out anywhere else for that very reason. Point being, you get it. The Epic Game Store is significantly less intuitive, less functional, and less robust. Unfortunately, Tim Sweeney is not a man who wants to take accountability for anything. He really thought to himself, I'm going to put a storefront out there, I'm going to lock games exclusively behind it, and I'm going to take away Valve's market share, and we will become the dominant platform. And when he's met with failures, he does exactly what he did in the past. Blame everybody else except his own goddamn company. Let's not forget, a few months back, Tim Sweeney blamed developers and not his stupid, shitty Unreal Engine 5 for the problems of poor performance. As he stated,
wow.
The big cause is the order of development, Sweeney said in a media interview after his Unreal Fest keynote in South Korea. Many studios build for top-tier hardware first and leave optimization.
He has such a fragile ego.
And low-spec testing for the end. Ideally, optimization should begin early before full content build-out. We're doing 2 things, strengthening engine support with more automated optimization across devices and expanding developer education so optimize early becomes standard practice. If needed, our engineers can step in. Game complexity is much higher than 10 years ago.
Engineers can step in. So like, you're gonna reach into a developer's computer and pretty much mess around with their game files. Like, seriously?
So it's hard to solve purely at the engine level. Engine makers and game teams need to collaborate. We're also bringing Fortnite optimization learnings into Unreal Engine, so titles run better on low-spec PC. Anybody here who has played an Unreal Engine 5 game can tell you this is absolute ass. Off the top of my head, Black Myth Wukong's probably the only title I played where, okay, optimization is fine there, but Unreal Engine 5 assets are so overused, we've got a problem where a lot of AAA titles are looking very similar, which makes Crimson Desert's game engine stick out because you can tell it's not using Unreal Engine assets. That Matrix demo that everybody blew their load over, to me, it didn't look good. I mean, there's nothing about cutting resolution down that much and having performance that bad just to have ultra realistic visuals. But that's the mentality Tim Sweeney's team had. And to this day, the guy cannot figure out that he is the problem. While Valve actively works to ensure games can receive multitudes of support even long after they've been released on the market, Tim Sweeney's approach is, well...
Alright, oh come on.
According to reports, Epic routinely mass deleted the company's backlog of bug reports despite them not being resolved. It's true, and it's normal software development. We prioritize.
Yeah, you fucking do that? We're not... Yeah, that was literally a one-way ticket to bankrupt your entire company. Seriously, if I was the game developer, I would not want any unfinished bug, any unanswered or unfinished bug reports fucking deleted. Yeah, especially if you're in the middle of replying to one. Yeah, you see what you're doing is just awful and unethical. This is the reason why that most indie developers are using like Unity or pretty much any other game engine than fucking Unreal Engine 5.
Reported bugs, we fix them in priority order. At the bottom are low priority, low impact bugs. We find the cutoff point where fixing those bugs is less valuable to the game than other things, and we drop them. There's many reasons why this approach is a little retarded. Basically, Tim Sweeney's telling you there's a set of bugs that we will never fix, so we remove them from our system so we can work on fixing other bugs. But then I ask myself, how do you ensure you don't just list the same bug again? That's why you don't really want to delete that shit though, right? Well, a developer to Rust chimes in on that. Our backlog on Rust is usually several hundred of low priority bugs. Many are bugs to us rather than players, but we never deleted them. Generally, we have cleanup sprints to tackle them, allow QA to fix them, or they're a good starting point for new staff to resolve and becomes familiar with the project during their starting period. A lot of our low priority bugs can date back years. It's a burden on QA and the whole team to know if it's still broken or fixed in passing. I can see the logic in deleting them, but rather have them logged than forgotten. That's what I'm thinking. Perhaps
exactly.
Tim Sweeney's infrastructure is so poorly maintained for reasons like this, because you don't want to delete a backlog of bugs. It's virtually impossible to resolve every single bug.
Exactly. So that you fucking put it in backlog and get it done later. Not fucking delete the entire backlog. Are you fucking stupid? You're supposedly the creator of Unreal Engine, and you're fucking deleting backlogs of bugs that players, rightfully so, are screaming about and concerned. Especially if they're a game it's a game that they like or love. To me, Tim Sweeney is a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot and a half.
But it's not impossible to jot them all down. Many people replying to Tim Sweeney are pointing out things like this. So that actually explains in Fortnite why the sky glitch hasn't been fixed in a year. Fixing glitches for items you have to pay for isn't their priority. Best company! This game has no bright future with you attached to it. I have been waiting for this 𝙂𝙚 bug to be fixed. Like, come on. Literally, the main feature of the skin is broken, and I can't believe it's not priority to be fixed. Given how quick he was to respond to this, you just know he saw the outrage about the key employees who were laid off, and he did not have a care in the world about it. He was willing to ruin anything for his crazy metaverse, and look how that all went. Oh. And of course, you're probably wondering, what layoffs are people talking about, Frit?
Literally, Tim Sweeney, let me tell you this. Since you're doing that shit, don't expect anyone to stay on Unreal Engine at all. Here's the thing, you fuck up that badly, we'll be spiteful. All of us will be spiteful enough to learn an entire new engine to say fuck you.
Well, more than 1,000 employees were laid off at Epic Games after Fortnite engagement slowed down. Tim Sweeney is out there console warring, well, essentially what is the equivalent of console warring on PC against other companies who are much more successful than his, much more beloved, because the man lives on social media, which is the type of behavior you wouldn't expect from such a rich, successful CEO, because you don't see gay.
I mean, the way he dresses, you wouldn't expect him to be rich and successful. You wouldn't assume he's rich and successful. And where the fuck is the PR team? It's non-existent. It's been PR team's been laid off.
Newell wasting his life on Twitter, but you will see Tim Sweeney constantly tweeting, and it's that type of wasteful energy being spent on stupid things that kind of just gives you the answer to the question everyone's been asking: why is Epic Games Store so lackluster? That's because their CEO doesn't give a shit. He's a social media addict when he should be addicted to his consumer base and pleasing them and building a service that can properly compete with something like Steam. But instead, here he is, arguing with random named accounts on social media. Tim Sweeney makes the fatal error a lot of CEOs make, and that is giving lip back to the consumer, getting defensive over their poorly optimized game engines and poorly designed storefronts. Tim Sweeney has obviously never heard the phrase, "the customer is always right." And at the same time, he is not catering to game developers, the very talent, the backbone of his entire company, the video games, the thing that matter. People aren't showing up to the Epic Games Store because they thought you were cool on Twitter, Tim. So it's important you cater to said developers, but instead you make completely broken game engines that are almost impossible to optimize, even with the highest end hardware available on the fucking market. Meanwhile, over here with Valve, it's the complete opposite. They do everything in their power to ensure they work closely with game developers to provide all the necessary tools and optimization to improve user experience, such as here. Valve is improving the Linux gaming experience for systems with limited VRAM, especially budget GPUs and handheld devices.
Exactly.
It helps games run smoother by giving the active game priority access to GPU memory and reducing memory pressure from background apps. Prioritizes VRAM for the game in focus, reduces stutter and sudden FPS drops, lowers texture pop-in, improves performance on 8 GB GPUs and handheld, best support for AMD Linux systems. Valve.
Unfortunately, Halo. Microsoft actively blocks Halo from being ran on Linux. It was to the point that Halo was temporarily dropped from, basically removed from the Valve Steam store, and then like, oh, here you can play Halo on Linux now. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, you can play campaign on Linux, but like, don't expect me to play multiplayer on Linux.
Has been working closely to help build Linux into the proper gaming platform it should be. Because Windows overbloat with all the unnecessary Copilot and every stupid bullshit app Bill Gates wants you to have on your desktop that actively spies on you, Valve sees a future where Linux can thrive. If Gabe Newell believes in Linux, you should too. And that's what separates a company like Valve and Epic Games. Valve actively looks for what markets they can cater to and create new customers out of. Epic Game Store can't even build a basic fucking storefront. The amount of people that actively use Linux is increasing every single year. And now you've got handhelds like the Steam Deck that have been an excellent introduction into Linux-based operating systems. Valve is working closely for a future where Windows is no longer the overbloated operating system we have to turn to play our video games. And if you think that's a bad thing, then you definitely rode on the short bus growing up. Truth is, it's two completely different philosophies these companies follow. Tim Sweeney cannot even begin to fill in the flip-flops that Gabe Newell wears. Tim Sweeney and Epic Games leech off of an industry while Valve actively tries to expand said industry and reach out to new players through smaller markets that most video game companies wouldn't even take a second glance at. Valve is committed. And meanwhile, Tim Sweeney, who has shown absolutely no progress on the Epic Game Store, the storefront itself, has no commitment to players, has no interest in reaching out and help develop smaller niche markets, because he's literally just Fortnite the company. Fortnite rakes in more money than some countries in this world. Fortnite may legitimately have one of the biggest cultural impacts ever felt in the gaming world. And the success of that alone has lasted so much longer than Tim Sweeney actually deserves. If Fortnite didn't exist, Epic
thank you, Kia, for following. Welcome.
Games would be in some serious trouble right now, as their storefront is a complete failure. Unreal Engine 5 has been a complete failure the entire generation, and their storefront exclusivity strategy was a colossal misstep, which backfired on the company more than it ever benefited them. Because the one thing storefronts need to honestly thrive in a market like this is retention. You want gamers actively browsing your store page, interacting with it, spending their time there. The longer somebody stays on your storefront, the higher the probability that they will purchase something, whether it's a skin, a piece of DLC, cosmetics for their profile. And that's exactly what Epic Games Store is struggling with: retention. The free games are not ensuring new customers, and the reasons are obvious. Nobody wants to stay there realistically. The big moves Valve is making here have disrupted all of Epic Games Store's plans. They were so ill-equipped for this battle that Gabe Newell didn't even fucking notice they were on the battlefield to begin with. He literally did nothing. Just walked by in his flip-flops and didn't even see Tim Sweeney laying on the floor bleeding out. It's a meme at this point, but it's also reality. Gabe Newell really just walked straight through a warpath where everybody unintentionally laid down for him, and he didn't even notice. If there's ever a gaming company to place your bet on, Valve would be the one. If you ever thought, man, who should I stick with? Because most people can usually only afford one platform, I would honestly say Steam is the place to go. And GOG is a close second, as both companies aim to do different things that attract consumer bases, whereas Epic Games Store entire strategy was to directly try and take Valve's consumer base rather than form their own through a unique key feature that makes them stick out. You got GOG with DRM free games, you got Valve with its robust storefront, and then you got Epic Games Store with what? Free games? Free games? Any PC gamer can get a free game right now. I'm not going to tell you how, but you know what I'm talking about. In this kind of marketplace where we can easily pirate a lot of video games, a company like Steam still manages to succeed. Because that's the power and influence good customer relations can have. Something the Epic Game Store will hopefully one day wake up and realize. But until then, Gabe does nothing and wins. And as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. With that being said, I'm getting the hell out of here. And I'll see you in the next video.
Africanga sucks ass.
Yep. Also, Gabe does nothing and wins. That's a meme I will stand by. Oop. There we go. Pretty much I'm gonna be ending off today's stream here. I just want to say, thank you everyone who followed, thank you everyone for subscribe, thank you everyone who supported me by watching the streams, watching the videos, watching the shorts, etc., etc. I appreciate everyone here. I appreciate all my blitzies who come by and stop my streams, and I appreciate all the new blitzies that come by and stay for my streams and videos and whatnot. I just want to say, just thank you everyone. I think I just make some dinner after this, and then probably just relax and then go to bed. That being said, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining today's stream. My name is 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚. I'm a variety streamer. I stream lots of video games, just me, as well as I draw art, and hopefully I'll be doing 3D modeling for everyone here. That being said, I gotta get going with blitzies. Bye bye, matinee.